Welcome to Module 8, Lesson 7. In this lesson, we are going to work on solving word problems that involve 2 and 3 steps using whole numbers in all 4 operations. Okay, so this is similar to the last lesson we've been doing in a couple of the modules, where we're working on solving multi-step problems. Right, number 1. Mr. Oskey designed a mural that will cover 340 square meters of an old factory wall. He and some volunteers have collected 13 gallons of paint to complete the mural. Each gallon of paint will cover 37 square meters. Is there enough paint to fill the mural? If so, how many additional square meters could be painted? So the first thing we need to do is figure out what do we need to find in this problem. So we need to find is there enough paint to fill the mural? And in order to find if there's enough paint to fill the mural, we need to find a couple of different things. But ultimately, we're finding the answer. Is there enough paint for the mural? Now we need to go back and underline the information we need to solve the problem. Well, we know that they've collected 13 gallons of paint. Each gallon covers 37 square meters. And they need to cover a total of 340 square meters. So what do we need to do to solve the problem? Step 1, we need to find out how much paint do they have. We know they have some amount of paint, right? 13 gallons that covers 37 square meters. So we know there's some paint. We need to find out how much paint they have. And then step 2 is that enough? Then we would find out how much more they need. Or how much more can they paint? Because they might have extra, right? They might be able to cover 500 square meters, or they might only be able to cover 200 square meters. All right, so now we need to solve the problem. So let's do step 1 first. We know that there are that each gallon will cover 37 square meters, and that there are 13 gallons. So we need to go ahead and set up 37 times 13. Go ahead and solve 37 times 13 using any method. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to check your work. All right, you should have found that it could cover 481 square meters. So, can we answer the question, is there enough paint? Yes, there is enough paint, because it only needs to cover 340 square meters. So now we need to answer the second question. So let's answer that first on letter D. Yes, there is enough. And now we do step 2. If the mural is only 340 square meters, but it can cover 481, how much more could be painted? So you need to find the difference here. 481 minus the 340 that they're going to paint will give us 141. So they can paint 141 more square meters. Go ahead and pause the video if you need any more time to answer these questions. Number 2. At Hansel's orchard, 48 apples can fit in a basket. One day, Mr. Kelvin and some friends pick enough apples to fill 28 baskets. It takes 8 apples to make a jar of applesauce. How many jars of applesauce can Mr. Kelvin make from these apples? So what information are we given in this problem? Well, first we need to understand what is it really asking us to do. We need to find the number of jars of applesauce. In order to find how many jars of applesauce he can make, we need to understand how many apples do we have. So, how many apples do we have? We have 28 baskets of 48 apples. That's a lot of apples that we have. And then to make jars, each uses 8 apples in one jar. So how do we solve the problem? We need to find the total number of apples then to find the number of jars, then we'll divide by 8 because each group of 8 apples goes into one jar. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We need to find 48 times 28 baskets. All right, go ahead and use any method. Pause the video to solve 48 times 28. I used an area model to solve. The answer I got was 1,344 apples. Okay, so that is a lot of apples. We now need to divide that number of apples by 8 to find how many jars we could make. Go ahead and solve. Press play when you're ready to check your work. Right, over here I use standard long division to show that there are 168 jars. So how many jars of applesauce can you make? 168 jars of applesauce. So how can we use estimation to check the reasonableness of our answer? Well, we could do 50 times 30 will give us 1,500 apples. Do you see a simple multiple of 8 here? No, but I know it's really close. I see 15 here, and 15 is close to 16. So if I use 1,600 divided by 8, 1,600s divided by 8 will equal 2 hundreds. Then it says I'm going to get about 200 jars. So does my answer seem reasonable? It does. All right, go ahead and complete the check understanding. Press play when you're ready to check your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and check. Number 1, she earns $497. First, we have to find the total number of money she made. She mowed 19 lawns, and each one she got paid $23 for. So in total, she made $437, but she also got $60 in tips. So we had to add her number of tips on. So in total, she made $497. All right, number 2. First, we had to find the cost of the dishwasher. The dishwasher was 45 times the amount that detergent was. So it was 45 times greater than $14. The dishwasher itself cost $630. Then we had to find how much it cost for 3 boxes of detergent. So 3 boxes of $14 detergent I found that 3 times 10 was 30 and 3 times 4 was 12. So I found that in total my detergent cost me $42. I needed to add that $42 to $630, and I found that in order to buy all 4 things, it would cost $672.